This black woman supposedly got kicked off of a flight for merely looking at a white flight attendant in a lawsuit. This is what the lawsuit says. A black woman says she was removed from a Delta Airlines flight after simply looking at a flight attendant who was Caucasian. Now, according to Atlanta's Black Star, Teresa Hudson Jordan filed a federal discrimination lawsuit alleging that she was kicked off a Delta flight after a flight attendant took issue with the way she looked at her. I mean, this is real ignorant to me, okay? These people are doing the most. The alleged incident unfolded on March 27th when Jordan, a frequent Delta flyer and first-class passenger, and her teenage daughter were flying to Lexington, Kentucky to New York, from Lexington, Kentucky to New York City. Now, after the plane doors closed, Jordan leaned over to say something to her daughter. A flight attendant then passed by, and Jordan looked up at her and made eye contact, but did not say a word, according to the complaint. Jordan's eye contact sparked a sudden outburst from the flight attendant, according to the complaint. Without any provocation whatsoever, flight attendant Joe, a Caucasian woman, began screaming at Miss Jordan, yelling, "Don't look at me like that. Don't give me eye up. Don't eye me up and down. If you can't comply with my commands, then I'll turn this plane around and we can go back to the gates." Honey, let me tell you something. I wouldn't have said anything because I wouldn't have wanted to get kicked off that flight. I wouldn't have said a word. I wouldn't have said a word. I would just sat there. And then as soon as the plane landed, I'd have told her something so shocking about herself. No threats, but I'd have gave her something to think about as I headed out the gates. Now, please pay attention. That's how you do that. So anyway, talking about she can turn the plane around. Girl, you're not the pilot. Okay, you are not even the pilot. Honey, these Karens, they love to try it. Now, with that all been said, Jordan repeatedly told the flight attendant that she would comply, but the plane worker continued her rampage per the suit. Should have been talking about herself. See, that's why I wouldn't say nothing. I don't argue with fools or Karens. Anyway, the passenger stayed in her seat and never raised her voice during the exchange as other bystanders looked on in disbelief at the flight attendant's unwarranted outburst. You know what I would have done? As a matter of fact, I'd have just turned my back and sat there and looked straight ahead, just like that man did when Justin Pearson went in on him and got all up in his face, pointing his finger. He sat there looking straight ahead. He wouldn't even look over his shoulder to see what Justin was up to, honey. But let me continue. I've never seen or heard a flight attendant act so aggressively towards a passenger. It was disturbing and unwarranted, is what one bystander reported to Delta per the complaint. Another wrote that the flight attendant had threatened Miss Jordan as if she were a dog or a slave. Ooh, honey. See, this is how you handle stuff like this. You don't act foolish. You don't get into a shouting match. You don't start making threats. You sit there and mind your business, because at the end of the day, that's how you get a lawsuit, okay? You don't make yourself the aggressor, all right? That's what you don't do. Just let them sit there and talk trash. That's all they're doing is talking. Now, they start putting hands, that's another story. But when somebody's acting like that and you're on a flight, honey, or anywhere, and they're just acting like a whole fool, let them act like a fool. Because I'll give you one to grow on, honey, when I'm getting up out of there. That's what I will do. And it won't be anything nice. I'll say the nastiest thing that they ever heard, okay? And like I said, it won't be any threats. I'll just tell them the truth about people who act like them. Now, with that all being said, according to the complaint, the flight attendant went to the cockpit and lied to the crew about the incident, alleging that Jordan was disruptive and non-compliant. The pilot then moved to turn the plane around and ordered Jordan to be removed from the flight. A gate agent escorted Jordan and her daughter off the plane. So nobody said anything like, oh, she didn't do anything. She was just sitting there. Wow. This case epitomizes the revolting reality that even in the year 2025, Black Americans continue to endure the indignity of flying while Black, an experience steeped in humiliation and echoing the dehumanizing degradations of the Jim Crow South. This is what Jordan's complaint says. Let me tell you all why that woman was mad. Does anybody have a clue as to why Karen got so angry at that Black woman for looking at her, just looking at her? Does anyone have an idea? Because I really do. Once in the chat, if you think you know. Once in the chat, if you think you have an idea as to why she got so darn mad, because that woman simply looked at her. But of course, DC said, show off, I'm going to get paid. Okay, Juju said, read them for filth respectfully. Huh, this is all crazy. Okay, CJ said, Rosewood. TC Dan said, I don't know how we can get some of the things we want done without acknowledging political stances, alliances. We got to be honest about that. Yes, we absolutely do, beloved. That's one thing that we definitely have to do. And that's why I'm saying Little Miss Crockett is very cute and all of that, but we need her putting some work in. Okay, not being entertaining. She's not a comedian, though she probably could be one. Okay, but thank you for your insight to the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. There you go, G. There you go. G said it. She was in first class. That's why that woman was mad. Do y'all know that they actually hate to see Black folks sitting in first class? They ask you things like, so what do you do for a living? Oh, I mind the business that pays me. What do you do? That's what they literally ask you in first class. As if you don't belong there, or, you know, it's something special that had to have happened for you to be there. They love to ask Black people that. Has anyone ever been asked that? Because I have. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, how are you doing? What do you do for a living? Mind my own business. Okay, the business that pays me. What do you do? That's what I told her. Okay, that's what I told her. Because these people getting mad when they see us in first class. Like, we don't deserve, all right, the nerve of us to afford it. I mean, it's real crazy. Anyway, I think that's exactly why she got mad. Because why would you tell somebody, you know, don't look at you like that. Don't look me up and down. First of all, you can't tell anybody how to look at you. That's what you can't do. You don't get to tell me what the hell to do with my eyes. That's what you don't get to do. But anyway. So anyway, goes on to say that Jordan's attorney, John Norensberg, said in a statement, it's absolutely outrageous what happened to her. She has multiple eyewitnesses who saw what happened. Perfect strangers who wrote to Delta about it. Here's the thing. And while she was acting a damn fool, I would have been recording her with my phone. I would have put up my phone and started recording her. Okay? I wouldn't even have to record her face. I would have just started recording so she couldn't see it and recording what she was saying and how I was saying nothing. That's what I would have been doing. Like, girl, you got people effed up. Okay, so anyway, Delta addressed the suit saying, while we have no specific comment on this pending litigation, Delta has zero tolerance for discrimination in any form. Please get the F out of here. Okay, how many times do we have to hear the same BS over and over and over? Okay, I'm just so annoyed at this point. Okay, I'm just so annoyed, honey. I'll be waiting on a Karen to try me because I wish a Karen would. I promise you that. I wish you would, Karens, if you're out there, if you're listening, okay? Please, okay, make my day is all I'm saying. Now, let's talk about